Welcome everyone to Deal Day. I'm so happy to have you all tuning in today. Please say hello and where you're watching from. And we have a fantastic offer happening just for today for Deal Day. This is our live shopping event. It only happens once per month, and it's a different product that we focus in on for every show. Today's featured item is our vitamin B12, and this is a 2-pack and substantial savings for you today here at Vitatree. I'm going to go through the entire presentation, why this is so different from all the B12s and B complexes that you may have tried before. But today only, our regular price is $65.58 US. Today only $44.26, and that's for 2 bottles. That's almost like a 1 bottle price for 2 bottles, and that's on subscription. If you don't want to do that, you can definitely do the one-time shipment, and you can even split up your payments interest-free if you wanted to do that at $49.18. So a great opportunity. I know that they were flying out the door earlier today in our first live show, and this is so different compared to other vitamin B12s that you may have experienced before, and that is the Vitatree difference. So all of my formulations, I'm Dr. Janine. If you've not met before, hello. I'm a naturopathic doctor and the formulator of all the Vitatree products. The B12 is very different. It's not the cyanocobalamin. Now, most of the B12 in the marketplace and B complexes, that B12, usually what you'll see in brackets is cyanocobalamin. That has cyanide in it. Well, this is very different. We do not use the cyanide. We use something called adenosylcobalamin, which goes right into your mitochondria and is really important for that proper absorption and utilization of vitamin B12. The biggest symptom of being low in B12 is fatigue, lack of energy. And this is why it's so important, the format of B12 that you're taking. Other signs and symptoms that your body is telling you that you're low in that B12, let's go through the list. So of course I said the fatigue. Very, very common when you have a B12 deficiency. We sort of burn through our B vitamins in times of stress and anxiety, and I know the world has gone crazy and there's a lot going on and a lot of people have a lot of stress and even more need for our water-soluble vitamins. B12 is one of them and our other B vitamins because our body utilizes all of these B vitamins to ramp up metabolism. And when we're deficient, that's why we can have these symptoms like the fatigue, the mood swings, even low mood, depression, anxiety when you're low in that B12. And so I think of all times right now, a lot of people are super stressed out for various reasons. That B12 deficiency becomes one of those very important things that we're actually treating naturally with the Vitatree B12. Again, very different from the conventional ones that are out there. Inflamed mucous membranes, if you're prone to canker sores in your mouth, B12 deficiency most times. Pale skin, GI upset, indigestion, lack of proper metabolism of your carbs, your fats, and your proteins. We know that B12 helps with our metabolism. Muscle weakness, cramps, tremors, and shakiness kind of feeling with a B12 deficiency, shortness of breath, loss of that proper cardiac function as well, anemia, and neuralgias, neuropathies. We need vitamin B12 to help our neurons. So all of our neurons, our nerve cells, have something called a myelin coating. Now, when we become B12 deficient, that can start to wear down and wear very thin. And now we don't have that proper conduction of our neurons. They're not communicating properly with one another because of potentially that B12 deficiency. And that's another reason to ensure, if you do have the numbness, the tingling, and sciatica, neuralgias, neuropathies, any type of nerve issue, or your nerves are just frayed, and you've got that anxiety and stress and nervousness, that B12 is going to be such an important component of getting yourself feeling better again, getting that energy back. And again, with the B12 from Vitatree, it is the adenosylcobalamin, and it's in a whole food complex. So if you actually look at these capsules, I'll show you them more closely. You can notice that they're green on the inside, and this is a vegetarian capsule, so very important for vegetarians as well, who tend to be very low in vitamin B12. But these vegetarian capsules are important because you see the nutrient density from the chlorella. And the chlorella makes this the whole food complex. And the chlorella is going to give you other accessory B vitamins. And that's why this is kind of like the B complex vitamin of the Vitatree line. And it's really important to know that there's no fillers, there's no flow agents. So some of the things commonly found in other vitamins, magnesium stearate. So if you've seen my social media, presence and my talking about, I actually do a little demonstration with magnesium stearate. It's important that you know what your supplements contain. And this is actually a chemical. It's not magnesium that you take as a supplement. It's magnesium stearate. It's a chemical, and it's never been tested to be safe for long-term human consumption. They've not even done the immunogenicity tests. And ideally what it says in the material data safety sheet, just for me to handle this, I should have gloves on, a mask, and full, lab coat and goggles to protect myself from magnesium stearate. So what does that tell you? Now this is in a lot of your supplements that you're taking. Of course, when I started to learn this information, that's why I did something differently. And that's why I formulated all the Vitatree products with no magnesium stearate, no other fillers like the microcrystalline cellulose is another one. I want you to check your vitamin bottles at home for this as well. Now with B12 deficiency, and this is really the Vitatree difference, formulated by myself, a naturopathic doctor, whole food ingredients, no magnesium stearate, no fillers or other flow agents, and made in a GMP facility, third-party tested. So our testing, both raw materials, but then our final products are also tested in a third-party lab. What does third-party mean? It means it's not our own facility. We send it out to a lab that's independent of our manufacturing process, and that's really important because not all supplements do this. And then we get that data back in terms of passing those tests to make sure that there isn't contamination with heavy metals and other problems in terms of, what potentially could be in your supplements. So that's really important. Now getting back to deficiency symptoms with B12, often a B12 deficiency can also mimic other diseases like Parkinson's, MS, dementia, ADD, ADHD, autism, neuropathies, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, all related back to that B12 deficiency. So I just want to make sure that you're optimizing your levels, especially today because it is deal day. So just really quickly, our offer today, and it's for today only, okay? Deal day items are only once, and it lasts for 1 day, or as long as we have quantity. Like I said earlier in our first live show, this was like flying off the shelf like hotcakes, and this is why I don't want you to miss out on this opportunity. So again, $44.26 is our lowest price that we've ever seen on two. You're getting 2 bottles of the B12. 1 capsule a day is your standard dosage, and each bottle has 30 capsules, all right? You can also do a one-time, so this is subscription, a one-time offer. If you just want to try it once, then that you can also split up your payments, and that's 25% off our regular price of $65.58. And hey, every day we have people buying it at the $65.58. You'll appreciate the value of Vitatree when you start taking our supplements and my formulations because they work so well. They're properly absorbed. Your body knows what to do with them because they are whole food supplements, very different from the synthetic and the cyanide ones that are out there in terms of B12. Okay, let's listen to some of the reviews. 5 stars from Rebecca. Since I started taking this product, I've noticed my energy levels have gone up and overall feel better. Love this product. Thank you so much, Rebecca. Nina said, quality products, 5 stars. I have been taking this B12 and feeling great. I don't feel slushy, fatigue, or tired during the day. I feel focused, relaxed, and sleep well. Just ordered 3 more bottles, and my adult daughter is also taking this vitamin with me. Highly recommended. Thank you, Nina, and I'm glad that it's helping your daughter as well. Carol says, 5 stars. After only 2 weeks, I can see improvement in my energy level. I am so happy to have Vitatree B12, this clean, quality product with no junk fillers or magnesium stearate. I'm glad that you appreciate that difference and you're feeling so much better. And that's the great thing about B12. You just need to take that 1 capsule in the morning. You feel that energy and it keeps you going, which is so important. Okay, we are moving on. Thanks for joining me today on Deal Day. X-Boom, hello. Nice to see you. Susie Woozy, hello in London. Gonzone Newton John, hello. Nice to have you here. Khalifa, hello. Thank you for tuning in. It's great to have you here. Dream Doers, hello. Pins and needles. Yes, that can be a B12 deficiency. And often, it's something that could show up in your blood work. So that's something that you can definitely have checked with your doctor as well, your B12 status. N for Envy. Thank you so much. Yes, this is possible with a B12 deficiency to help to address some of those symptoms related to irritable bowel. So IBS types of symptoms. Earlier today in our show, we really did focus in on IBS. So maybe you want to take a peek at that. I'll go to Vitatree.com and look at today's earlier live show. I believe it is available there. You can also find it where you watch on social media, and it will be there. And we talked a lot about the gut microbiome and doing microbiome cleansing with our Paravide, as well as our detox supplement. So that combination is really important. All right, so let's end the next one here. Probiotics. So the Vitatree probiotics, again, this is a very different formulation that I've put together in terms of the fact that it's our Lactobacillus acidophilus, Bifidobacterium bifidum, two strains that have a lot of science and research behind them to help with that healthy gut microbiome without using the magnesium stearate. So most encapsulated probiotic supplements that are in the marketplace, they use magnesium stearate because probiotics and fructooligosaccharides, which are the prebiotics, you're actually getting both in the Vitatree probiotics, they're known to be very sticky. And it sticks on the machinery, so to be able to get it into the capsule becomes very difficult. Well, that's why most companies are using magnesium stearate, which helps with the flow. It's called a flow agent. It helps to make the raw materials, the probiotics, less sticky. They can encapsulate more quickly. And like I said earlier, if you're just tuning in, magnesium stearate is a chemical. It's never been tested for long-term human consumption, for safety, for immunogenicity. They just haven't done the testing. So this is something, a big distinctive difference. The other thing with magnesium stearate is it coats, it goes on top of those raw materials, the probiotics, when you're taking it in another supplement. And then that can decrease the proper absorption and utilization of those probiotics in your gut. That's why when people switch over and they start taking the Vitatree probiotics, they feel such a difference, that you feel that difference, whether it is the gut health issues. We're going to go through some of the symptoms that your body is lacking in probiotics, and maybe you've got dysbiosis happening, and that basically means that there's an imbalance. So we have both good and bad bacteria in the gut. When we don't have enough of the good guys, the bad guys can start to take over. And now we have that imbalance, that dysbiosis. And here are some of the symptoms. Okay, it could be diarrhea. It could be constipation. It could be sort of going back and forth between the two. Having healthy poops, healthy bowel movements is something that, you know, when you have a baby, it's the first thing that you're looking for is the first healthy poop. And you continue to monitor these things. But as adults, we don't really pay attention anymore. So those dark sinkers are the gold standard for having a healthy poop. Yet a lot of people simply do not. You could be having, you know, IBS types of symptoms, this kind of thing happening, the pencil-like stools. You could have lighter stools that are floating, all indicators that maybe there is this dysbiosis happening. There's not enough of the good guys, and you need to put some probiotics back into your body. Constipation as well. And these types of poops, not healthy. Okay, we've got to get your gut healthy again. The Vitatree probiotics can really, really help with that. Not to mention the studies that have been done on these strains of probiotics. In the Vitatree probiotics, that can help with weight loss as well. So it's sort of making sure that we've got enough of those good guys that actually help to metabolize and properly absorb our nutrients like our vitamins and minerals. Okay, do you have a lot of gas and bloating, or do you know somebody like this? Unpleasant taste in the mouth, belching, pain. So actually stomach pain and intestinal pain. We should never have pain in the gut. The bloating, abdominal distension, changes in appetite. So this is decreased appetite, but I would add in appetite for all the wrong things, especially when you've got candida and some of those less favorable organisms in the gut that we talked about earlier today. This can make you crave a lot of sugar. And it's those organisms that are craving the sugar, and then you're trying to, you know, satisfy, okay, I need more sugar, and it's very difficult to lose weight, as you know, if you eat a lot of sugar. But at the same time, if you're craving it all the time, it's hard for your brain to kind of turn that off. It's those bad guys that are craving it. Well, it's amazing. Once you start taking the Vitatree probiotics, you're inundating your gut with the good guys, then all of these things dissipate and the cravings go away. You start to lose the weight, digestion improves, bowel movements improve, regulates the hormones as well. which is related, especially for women. Our estrogen levels are very much tied to our probiotic status. So, and being able to eliminate the excess estrogen in our system is reliant on what's going on in the gut as well. So very, very important. Hello, Fairy Winkle. It's nice to see you. Thank you so much. It is great. Yeah, our team can help you. There is a turmeric supplement at Vitatree that is very, very popular. So definitely check it out on Vitatree.com. Hey, if you're just tuning in today, it's great to have you here. We are shopping. It is deal day. I'm talking about the Vitatree probiotics. If you're just tuning in now, make sure you check out the B12. I mean, that is our deal day item of the day. 2-bottle offer as low as $44. That's kind of like a 1-bottle price and you're getting 2 bottles. So huge, huge savings just for today. And while we have some quantities remaining, and I know that this is going very quickly. This is probably our most popular item of the day that has been selling like crazy since our first live hour earlier today. So please take advantage of that. You can also do the one-time. So this is subscription, comes to you every couple months, but we also have our one-time offer and you can split up your payments. So it doesn't need to be all this money all at once. I know it's tight for a lot of people right now, so you can spread out your payments and enjoy just your 1 capsule of your vitamin B12 every day. And our probiotics are amazing as well. And this is one of those things that I call like a daily essential is your probiotics. It's the accelerator of the Vitatree line. So it will help with the absorption of anything that you take from Vitatree. And let's listen to what some of our customers have said. Dawn said, 5 stars on the probiotics. Very natural. I've been using all my life. Gut feels at ease after taking this product. Will not use another probiotic. Simply the best. Helps you go as well. So yeah, getting those poops going. Jamie said, 5 stars. Awesome. Best probiotic out there. Digestive health is back to normal. I'm so glad to hear that. And Tina Jones really helped my son. 5 stars. And this is, great for the kids as well. For the probiotics, you can open up the contents of the probiotics right into their mouth, and great for children and tummy aches and things. And after antibiotics, I mean, I could go on and on for the next 2 days talking about the probiotics, but really, really effective. Okay, I want you to take a look at this, and I'll be right back.
We're so glad you joined us for Vitatree Live Shopping with Dr. Janine Bowring. Stock up and save up to 35% on your favorite Vitatree products at Vitatree.com. Need help or have a question? Call 1-844-GET-WELL or email our team at hello@Vitatree.com or chat with us in the comments for live answers from Dr. Janine.
All right. So yes. So make sure you use that toll-free number, 1-844-GET-WELL. If you do have any questions, as you know, I am live or after today's live video, make sure you ask your questions. And my team is fantastic. They'll be able to help you and to answer your questions around any of the supplements and of course do their best. All right. Now we're moving on to our magnesium. So magnesium is interesting when we come and talk about Vitatree magnesium, very different from, other magnesiums. This is a magnesium bisglycinate, so bound to glycine. Now glycine is interesting because it works like a neurotransmitter in our body, helps with our glutathione levels, super important for building our collagen. And I've said for years since we launched the Vitatree Magnesium that this is our anti-aging mineral. And most people in most parts of the world are going to have a magnesium deficiency because we simply do not have it in our food supply anymore because of modern agriculture and the overtilling of soils, the uses of certain herbicides and pesticides. It really does trap that magnesium, and the magnesium never really gets into our fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds as it once did. And they've done comparisons on nutrient density in foods now versus 100 years ago that we would need to eat 8 times the amount and volume of food now just to match the same nutrient density that we once had just 100 years ago. So that's kind of scary when we think about it. And magnesium deficiency, there's so many symptoms that your body could be telling you, and I want want to show you these because they're so common that you wouldn't necessarily have known is related to being low in that magnesium. And then the good news is when you start taking your 2 capsules every day of the Vitatree Magnesium, these symptoms can completely disappear, and it is incredible. That's why we have so many great testimonials on this product as well. And remember, Vitatree is different. So remember, we're not using the fillers, we're not using the flow agents, there's no magnesium stearate in our magnesium supplement, and we don't use this filler, microcrystalline cellulose, as well. So that's why you get the rapid absorption. I'm going to open up a capsule for you in just a few moments so you can see exactly how the Vitatree Magnesium is so well absorbed and very different from anything that you may have tried. Okay, so doctor formulated by myself. Nice to meet you if you're here for the first time. Great to have you here. Whole food ingredients, no magnesium stearate. We don't use the fillers or that, any type of flow agent, third party tested, and of course, made in a GMP regulated facility. But let's look at some of the common symptoms of being low in that magnesium. So, when you're low, you may be getting eye twitches, and those eye twitches can be related to low magnesium. Irregular heartbeat as well. Magnesium helps to balance out and regulate muscle contraction. And so the normal and regular beating of your heart is dependent on having enough magnesium. Slower metabolism. So are you having difficulty getting that weight off? Well, it could be because you're magnesium deficient. If you crave a lot of chocolate, all right, that is an indicator of magnesium deficiency. Muscle cramps and weakness, headaches. So if you're prone to headaches, this is so important. We talked earlier today about iron deficiency. So if you know that you have an iron deficiency, you're prone to headaches, I want you to make sure you're taking your iron, the whole food iron complex, 2 capsules a day, and magnesium, 2 capsules a day. Asthma as well, because it's an antispasmodic. Menstrual cramps, also antispasmodic, regulating that menstrual cramping. And low bone density, we need our magnesium in complex, of course, with enough vitamin D3, K2, and our calcium as well. But this is so important. Acid reflux, this is an important thing as well. Maybe I'll just show you really quickly acid reflux, and then I'm going to show you my hack for acid reflux, because this type of magnesium, in particular, the bisglycinate without the fillers and flow agents, in my formulation helps with acid reflux. And we've been able to help so many customers with this, even ones that were medicated, because what the magnesium does is it helps to relax sphincters. And that means keeping that acid down in the stomach where it needs to stay. When these muscles are relaxed, then it closes. And that's what's going to keep that acid down in the stomach. And I want to show you how you can do this, especially for acid reflux, but really for anyone. I make this an electrolyte drink for my kids with the Vitatree Magnesium because it's a major electrolyte, helps with the muscle cramping and muscle contraction. But you'll notice when I open that up into a bit of water, I don't even need to stir it. The Vitatree Magnesium, because it doesn't have the added ingredients, the fillers, the flow agents, the magnesium stearate, it disappears completely into the water. It is tasteless and a great way to optimize your magnesium levels. Okay, 2 capsules a day is your standard dosage, and that's going to give you 950 milligrams of the magnesium bisglycinate, of which 76 milligrams is your elemental magnesium. Not everybody tells you how much the actual magnesium you're getting, so that is very important, and it says so on the label. Like I said, 2 capsules a day. I like it in the morning. And I know that you're thinking, oh no, you're wrong. You're supposed to take magnesium at night because it helps with sleep. That's true, and you can do that, but I prefer that you take it in the morning because remember that proper beating of your heart. We need that throughout the day. Our stresses, anxiety throughout the day, proper metabolism throughout the day when we're consuming our calories. And that magnesium, of course, is going to help maybe, if you're prone to EMF exposure, like a lot of us are. That's something that I talk about a whole chapter in my book, and you'll see a little bit about this in just a second. In my latest book, The Lost Medicine, those electromagnetic fields in our modern world, they compromise our magnesium status. We actually need to take more magnesium now than what we did before we had 5G and all these things to protect our cellular metabolism from too much calcium flooding in. Vitatree Magnesium is a must every day. 2 capsules is your standard dosage. Okay, so what are our customers saying about this? Okay, this is from Erica. Erica said 5 stars. Sometimes you don't know what the body needs till it's got it. Thank you, Dr. Bowring, for educating us about this magnesium. It's a clean ingredient without any other agents, and that makes us feel safe. Love this magnesium. I feel great and help my daily life full of energy. Well, thank you so much, Erica. That was so kind. Okay, 5 stars from Purple Yam. I love that handle name. Thank you, Dr. Bowring, for educating us about this magnesium. And it's a very similar, okay, I think there's a mess, okay, which is a very similar testimonial there. So thank you to everybody who's tuning in today. It's great to have you here. Anna Ken, thank you for tuning in. Faiza, hello. Thank you for tuning in. Connie as well. It's great that you're here today. And electrolytes are definitely at Nori N6M, definitely necessary for the brain health and heart health. It's amazing, that you're tuning in today and, talking about the fact that we are on our deal day, which is amazing in terms of being able to optimize, your shopping experience because we have so many fantastic deals. So our B12 is our deal day item. It's just for the next 24 hours at this price. And then of course it's going to go back up to regular price tomorrow. So take advantage of that B12. It's a 2-bottle offer. Okay. So check it out on Vitatree.com. You can learn more there, but make sure you put it in your cart and check out so that you get some at that price while we still have some supply left, and that deal goes away tomorrow. That's why it's called Deal Day. 1 day only. All right. So continuing on with our collagen powder. Now this is fantastic for, of course, our own collagen in our skin, for the health of your hair, for your nails. And this is a type 1 and type 3 collagen. And this becomes really important in terms of helping with, that elasticity, that tensile strength, that ability for, in terms of tendons and ligaments, for our proper mobility. So in order to maintain even the cartilage in our bones, we need collagen. And we know what happens with our collagen as we're aging, unfortunately. It declines. And it's something that, especially I talk to a lot of women around perimenopause and menopause, like, what happened? All of a sudden my skin looks different, my joints are achy, and yeah, that decline in collagen happens very rapidly. So maintaining these healthy tissues, even for bone density, this hydrolyzed collagen in my formulation, it's hydrolyzed, meaning that it's already sort of pre-digested for you, so it's not going to upset your stomach like other collagens can. But this is, and has been shown in the studies, to have a really great effect, especially for postmenopausal women, for maintaining healthy bones and that bone density, as well as for your cartilage, so for your joints. But think about your ligaments and your tendons and all of these tissues that need to maintain some elasticity as you're aging. I don't know if anybody's done in any of those mobility tests where you have to get off the ground without using your hands and kind of get yourself up, using your strength, your agility. This can be challenging, and it should be something that we're able to maintain, especially as we age. But it's that type 1 and type 3 collagen that makes all the difference, and you're getting both in the Vitatree collagen. So it's not the same as other collagens out there. It's, again, type 1 is needed for even the health of your eyes, so the cornea of your eye. Type 1 and 3 needed for your healthy skin and hair, as well as your heart valves need type 1 and type 3 collagen, your muscles, adipose tissue, blood vessels, tendons, like I talked about, your bone density as well, all need those 2 different types of collagen. For cellulite, this is incredible as well. As we age, we lose, that proper elasticity and that firmness in the skin due to a loss of collagen. So this can even help with your cellulite appearance as well. And for our healthy blood vessels, this is important. So maintaining some elasticity in blood vessel walls, again, very important that we're maintaining our collagen levels. Excuse me. Now, when we talk about how this is different, so the Vitatree collagen, each scoop is standardized to 10 grams of collagen. So with Health Canada, that 10 grams is something that, that's the max that you could go in my formulation. Okay, we can go to 10. I'm going to go to 10 grams. And that's also 10 grams of protein. So if you're watching, if you've ever tracked your macronutrients, you've ever tracked your protein levels, sometimes it's difficult to get in enough protein in your daily diet. So adding this into my coffee, it's just kind of one of my little hacks. I'm getting 10 extra grams of protein. Amazing. And this is where I've seen the most, change is in my hair growth and the thickness of my hair and the length of my hair. I always lost with I've had 4 babies. And after each pregnancy, I lost so much hair, and it was like always, oh my goodness, I love having a baby, but this hair loss is terrible. So I wish I had had the collagen, years ago when I had my children, and, years later, that's when we formulated, and of course now we have it, which is amazing. So each scoop, I like to put it in my coffee, and mixing it in a hot coffee, it's going to dissolve better and more quickly than, in a colder beverage, and it is unflavored, so you don't have to worry about changing the flavor of whatever you're mixing it into. If you do want to make an iced coffee, then I suggest mixing the collagen into the hot brewed coffee first, and then having your separate glass with your milk and your ice, and then you can pour and any flavors that you want to add in there. Then you pour, the hot mix. You can see it's already gone. That's because, again, there's no fillers or flow agents, completely gone. And then you can pour that hot over the iced, and then you've got your iced latte or whatever that may be. I actually make ice cream with the collagen as well. And it works sort of as a binder. So I don't have to use the gar gum or other ingredients for my high protein ice cream, which is amazing and just a great, little treat, and another way to get more protein in with our protein powder as well, which I believe now is sold out. We don't have any online right now of the protein powder, but it's amazing. So the collagen, again, type 1 and type 3, a bovine collagen sourced from the European Union. So very high standards in terms of, and grass-fed, okay, so from grass-fed cows, that's very, very important as well. And it's a source of L-lysine. Now, L-lysine as an amino acid is great for cold sores and viruses, but is also fantastic for maintaining, your proper collagen stacking, and for healthy keratin as well, which of course for your hair, for your lashes, for your nails as well, you need that healthy keratin. And there's no marine collagen in here. So marine collagen, I've always had a little bit of being a little bit leery about marine collagen, so a fish collagen, just because we know about the contamination factor of, fish in our modern world, unfortunately, that to get, when I looked at formulating, to get a high quality marine sourced collagen, it would be exorbitant, like super, super expensive, to be able to source that, because, we just know about the toxicity in fish. So this is, better because it is hydrolyzed bovine collagen. And it comes in the pouches, 20 scoops per pouch. And remember, each scoop is 10 grams of collagen, 10 grams of protein. And you're going to love it. It's keto friendly. And of course, it is sweetened. There's no sweetness to it. So there's nothing in here that shouldn't be in terms of formulation. All right. So let's take a look at what some of our customers have said about the collagen. And Valeria, did I say that right? Valeria? I think so. Yeah, 5 stars. Morning routine staple. Every morning I know I'm getting an amazing start to my day with this grass-fed beef collagen. When I'm out and can't enjoy it, my whole day is affected. Highly recommend, and I'm a lifelong user. Thank you, Valeria. Nicole said 5 stars. To me, this product is excellent, and I would give it 10 stars. I use Vitatree collagen every morning in my coffee. I also put my subscription for 2 pouches a month. Okay, amazing. Grace, 5 stars as well. It's the best product. I recommend it to everyone who wants to try it. Well, thank you, Grace, so much for all your great testimonials. It's so great to hear from you all. Thank you to everybody who is tuning in today. It's great to have you here. And let's take a little look at this, and we'll come right back, all about my book. What if the real path to healing was buried on purpose? Before we had prescriptions and quick fixes, we healed with the sun, with the earth, with grounding, with natural detox, and really watching what we put into our bodies. Well, these are some of the reasons why I wrote my latest book, The Lost Medicine. It's all about rediscovering Mother Nature's prescription for us. She is our best doctor. You can learn more in my latest book. Please check it out. And there we have it. You can still check it out on Vitatree.com. It's available on other sources as well. So we do have the Audible file now and the soft, or what do you call it? The digital version? Yeah. And this is the soft cover book, the paperback book. So available in all different formats. But please check it out. The Lost Medicine. It's all about, reconnecting with nature and the fact that, we once had the ability to connect with Mother Nature so much more readily, right? We had, the wise folks in the villages and things that would connect with nature, know exactly what plant and herbal medicine to use to heal, the people on their land. And we totally lost that connection. So this is all about reconnecting with the earth, grounding, decreasing your electromagnetic field exposure to the man-made EMFs that we have in our environment, all about natural sunlight exposure, all the things that I talk about in my social media videos in a little bit more detail with the references behind it and the science behind it. And you're going to appreciate all of that information in The Lost Medicine. If you've not yet read it, please pick it up and maybe share with a friend as well. It's a great gift. If maybe somebody's got a birthday or Mother's Day is coming up, what a great gift for your mom, giving the gift of health. All right. So thank you to everybody who's tuning in. Talking about the moms, let's talk about balancing our hormones, ladies. I know this can be, such a huge subject, and there's a lot of information out there now for women, and a lot of people have gone a little bit more mainstream here, and I think that could be a good thing, but at least we're talking about it. Maybe it couldn't be a good thing, and this is totally my opinion in terms of, how we're affecting our body, whether that's creams or gels and using some synthetic forms of these hormones, when my outlook on balancing hormones for both men and women has always been, okay, let's support our systems from within, maybe use some herbal medicines that have the ability to help to find that balance internally and not sort of sideswipe the body and force its hand in terms of giving exogenous or outside hormones. A very different concept on how to deal with hormonal health. And this is, for me personally, has really helped with my hormonal changes throughout the years, having babies, perimenopause, and all these things, to be able to support my system from within and not have the symptoms that so many women have in terms of those hormones changing. And that's why I'm very, happy to have my own formulation, very grateful to have had it for myself, the women's formula. And this is something that, in terms of if we look at the ingredients and what this can help with, some of the common symptoms of having a hormonal balance, I don't need to tell you ladies, but you know this, of course, the hot flashes, the night sweats, and the covers on and off, irritability, loss of libido, muscle stiffness is very common when the hormones are changing. Menopausal symptoms, PMS, types of symptoms. This could be painful periods as well. Hormonal acne, hormonal weight gain goes into this category at any age or stage for a woman. There's something that may have become out of balance for whatever reason. And that's what the women's formula is all about. The herbal medicines are designed to bring that balance back. So whether it is, let's take a look at the formulation really quickly. Maybe you've heard about some of these herbal medicines. Okay, black cohosh. Now this is interesting because years back, it got some bad press, black cohosh. Well, the bad press was all done, and according to a study in which they had a contaminated batch of black cohosh, some of which was not even the black cohosh, and it got, all of these warnings and be careful and you shouldn't use it, blah, blah, blah. So if you look at the history of the black cohosh, it's actually very interesting. The indigenous languages in cohosh means pregnancy, to help to support estrogen levels, to support healthy pregnancy and healthy hormones in that time before getting pregnant, in terms of fertility issues. So black cohosh is in the formula, is going to support your estrogen levels. Maca is an adaptogenic herb, helps with times of stress, helps with cortisol levels. Chase tree berry helps with your progesterone levels. And motherwort helps with any cardiac types of symptoms, as that can be related to the hormones being out of balance as well. Helps with the muscle stiffness, which is often, like I said, goes hand in hand with the hormones changing. And that's why this is, so important to be able to find this balance for so many women. So 3 capsules a day is the standard dosage. I have found that 2 capsules at bedtime for a lot of women, myself included, if you are getting hot flashes, night sweats throughout the night and you're feeling hot and the cover's on, cover's off, and you're uncomfortable, you're not sleeping well, 2 capsules at bedtime, 1 capsule first thing in the morning. That is your daily dosage, the 3 capsules per day. But there's no hormones in here. There's no extraneous hormones or exogenous hormones. This is all pure natural herbal medicines that help to balance those hormones. Okay, what are people saying? Ladies, what are you saying? Arlette, 5 stars, menopause. After taking for approximately 1 month, had less hot flashes, night sweats. Amazing. Jammy, 5 stars. I started using the women's formula because of my age and I've seen a huge increase in my energy levels and sleep. I will definitely continue using this product. Thank you so much, Jamie. Temple said, 5 stars. I feel better overall. My hot flashes and anxiety have subsided. I will continue to use this product. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for sharing the good news on the women's formula. I know it is, and it's really for women, as much as we talked about the hot flashes, night sweats and things, which tends to be, around perimenopause, menopause. Even for the younger girls, we've been able to help a lot of younger girls with their painful periods and the PMS and the gas and the bloating and everything that goes along with, having those cycles or irregular cycles as well. This can really help to get things regular and help with fertility as well, which is important. You can check it all out on Vitatree.com. And these, again, are all the Vitatree formulations. They're my formulations. I'm Dr. Janine, naturopathic doctor, and the formulator of all the Vitatree products. Whole food vitamins without fillers, without flow agents. It doesn't have any of this stuff in it. And really, we stand alone as a company in terms of formulation without using any of those compromising ingredients. And we have formulas that work. And at the end of the day, if you're taking something for your health, you want to make sure that it's going to work for you. All right. So next up we're not going to forget about the guys. It is our men's formula. So this is all about balancing out men's hormones. Women go through menopause. The guys go through andropause. And yes, there is a change for men's hormones as well around, usually around the age of 50 or so. It could be less than that, or it could be later than that. But this is so important for prostate health as well. And the health of a prostate becomes more important as a man is aging. The normal size of an average prostate is about the size of a walnut. Okay. Now, what happens after the age of 50 is that this can start to enlarge. And now we're going to have some symptoms potentially of that enlarging prostate. And that can include frequent urination, incomplete urination, having to get up at night to urinate a lot. So these are things that to really pay attention to, guys, or if you're a loved one and this is your guy and this is happening to them, because they're not necessarily going to talk about it with you or anyone. They're not necessarily going to go to the doctor and have their PSA test, which is recommended. And if that level is high, that's indicating that there's some inflammation in the prostate. Well, this is why I formulated the men's formula, very specific ingredients that have been known in the science to actually help with, what's going on in the prostate and that enlargement, and helps to decrease that inflammatory response, and more importantly, helps with the symptomatology. So if you do have the frequent, urination, getting up at night, really urinating every 2 or 3 hours is probably more normal. I know some guys go longer than that, and some guys are like a few times an hour. That's an indicator that maybe, especially around that age, timing after the age of 50, that maybe there is something going on with the prostate. It definitely should be checked. But the great news with the men's formula, Vitamins formula, is that it's all natural ingredients. So let's take a look at these key ingredients really quickly. Maca, which we saw in the women's formula as well. This is an adaptogenic herbal medicine. And what that means is it helps your body to adapt to stress. And that becomes very important in terms of cortisol levels and how that can be correlated to what's going on with your hormones. Saw palmetto is a herbal medicine that helps with decreasing DHT, dihydrotestosterone, and that's commonly high with BPH. So this will naturally help to bring this down. Stinging nettle really does help with the urinary symptoms. So it's known to help with the, frequent urination, as well as the incomplete urination and having to get up at night, the nocturia as well for urination. Pumpkin seeds are a natural source of zinc, and we know that zinc is instrumental, again, in binding that DHT, so decreasing that dihydrotestosterone, which is also related to weight gain in all the wrong places for guys. Guys don't like having that DHT because it causes their hair to fall out right after a certain age. So that's something that we can really help with the men's formula. All right, let's listen to what people are saying, what the guys are saying about the men's formula. Shamel said, Vitamins has also given me a great boost of energy to start my day, allowing me to run and play with my son, and helps me keep up with my basketball team that I coach. I encourage all men to use it. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, Joseph said, 5 stars. With starting my own family, I want to make sure my reproductive health is taken care of. This supplement grabbed my attention for all of its benefits, which are most important to me and my family. I definitely recommend it. So yes, that's a big point that I didn't really touch on so much, is the fertility aspect of our men's formula in combination with our zinc would be really great. I'm not talking about it right this moment, but the zinc formula, which I talked about in our previous live shopping hour, really great combination with the men's formula. The men's formula is 2 capsules a day is your standard dosage. Helps with energy and stamina as well. So for some guys, they like to take 2 capsules twice a day. So that would be indicated as well. All right, so take a look at this quickly and I will come right back.
We're so glad you joined us for Vitatree Live Shopping with Dr. Janine Bowring. Stock up and save up to 35% on your favorite Vitatree products at Vitatree.com. Need help or have a question? Call 1-844-GET-WELL or email our team at hello@Vitatree.com or chat with us in the comments for live answers from Dr. Janine.
All right, so there you have it. Please take advantage of that, support that we have. hello@Vitatree.com if you want to send an email, if you want to call in, 1-844-GET-WELL. Please know that when we do have our live shopping that, the phone lines get jammed because everybody's shopping, asking questions. So, you may want to head over to Vitatree.com to place your order very quickly because I know we're very busy behind the scenes. All right, continuing on, talking about our thyroid. And why it's so important to actually support your thyroid gland, especially if you have an underperforming, underfunctioning thyroid gland, which is so common. It's called hypothyroidism. And maybe you have this diagnosis from your doctor. Maybe you're taking medication for your thyroid. And this was exactly what happened with me. So I'll share my own personal story. So after my 4th baby, I finally went and saw the doctor and just had some blood work done, just like saying, okay, my energy's not that great, but I didn't necessarily think that anything was wrong with me. But after doing some blood work, it was found that my antibodies were high for my own thyroid, which kind of is the picture of autoimmunity and Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So if this is someone, if I'm talking to you, then this is very relevant with the thyroid support. But also, my energy wasn't great. And then when I started to really analyze what I was seeing on the blood work, and speaking to my doctor, it's like, wow, okay, yeah, your thyroid needs a lot of help. And so I actually had to take a prescription, which I did not like. Anybody who knows me, I don't like to take anything. And that is, not natural, something that, is herbal or for whatever reason. So, but I did need to take, my prescription for a period of time. And when I went into talk to the pharmacist, and he was a compounding pharmacist, which means that they can sort of mix different blends of, and compound their substances in a different way. So one of the things I asked him for was, please compound it without the magnesium stearate, which he was able to do. But then he asked me, okay, I'm going to make up your prescription for you. Please tell me that you're taking something else for your thyroid to support your thyroid. What are you taking? And that's what he asked me. And I'm like, I don't know. What am I going to take? So there are thyroid supporting nutrients that should always be taken along with your prescription. And so this was kind of when the light bulb went off, because at that point I was already formulating the Vitatree products. So I went over to his little shelf and I'm looking at the shelf and I'm like, okay, I'm picking up, okay, we have these ones is what he told me. I look at the thyroid supporting supplement and I'm looking at it and I'm like, no, this doesn't meet my standards, of course, because they had the fillers, they had the flow agents, the titanium dioxide, all the things that I don't use in any of my formulations. They had synthetic vitamins as well, which of course, you know that when I formulate for Vitatree without, the synthetics. And so that's when it dawned on me that, okay, I need to create a thyroid supporting supplement. And that's exactly what I did. That afternoon, I went back to the office and started formulating the thyroid support. And this has helped so many people, especially, if you are medicated or even, you have symptoms of low thyroid and maybe you didn't realize that it was related to your thyroid gland. That is so common to be tired and, have a lot of the symptoms. I don't know if we have the chart with the symptoms, but we'll bring that up. Oh, good. So the fatigue, impairment of your memory, even low mood, depression, because your thyroid, which is kind of a master regulator for your metabolism, is not functioning the way that it should. Swelling in the face, swelling in the eyes as well. A deeper or hoarse voice can be related to your thyroid being low. Weight gain, constipation. So yeah, the poops are not where they should be. So you've got the poops that kind of look like this. So, either the rabbit pellets or what I call kind of the meatball types of poops. Severe constipation and things are not moving the way that they should. That weight gain as well, usually around the midsection, related to your metabolism slowing down and that low thyroid function. It could also be rough, dry skin, which is super, super common. And we've got hair falling out very easily. The thyroid could be enlarged, and not always, but it could be a little bit, you could be carrying more weight kind of in this area. And the doctor usually will test and sort of feel around if your thyroid feels a little bit enlarged, and a slowed heart rate and even weakness as well in your cardiovascular function. So this is so common to have the symptoms. Now you could be medicated and you still have a lot of symptoms of your thyroid being low. That's why supporting the thyroid with the thyroid support becomes really important. And this is why I'll show the ingredients in the formulation and why it's so key to make sure that your thyroid is actually getting the nutrition that it needs. So L-tyrosine is an amino acid, so a building block of protein, and this is what makes up your thyroid hormone, as well as the Norwegian kelp, which gives us the iodine, so a whole food source for that iodine. Ashwagandha is an adaptogenic herb, helps with stress, helps to support the proper thyroid function, and for Scully, helps with the conversion of your T4 to your T3, actually helps to produce those thyroid hormones, which of course is so important, and helps to metabolize that iodine in your thyroid from the Norwegian kelp. So again, it's a whole food formulation, all natural ingredients supporting that thyroid so that the weight starts to come off, your skin isn't dry anymore, you have better moods, you have better energy, your metabolism regulates itself. Super, super important to optimize that thyroid function. The good news is, okay, fast forward with my own story, because if you're just tuning in, I was sharing how I used to need medication for my thyroid. Well, I slowly started, once we had the formulation, I started to slowly take the thyroid support. And then eventually I was able to get off my medication completely. And now this is all I take just to support my thyroid. I like to take the 2 capsules. So your standard dosage is 2 capsules per day. I like to take them closer to bedtime. Your thyroid tends to be more active when you're sleeping with your circadian biology. But, some people like to split it up as well. 1 capsule in the morning and 1 capsule at bedtime. But let's take a look at what, some of our customers of the thyroid support have, shared with us in terms of how they're feeling. Okay, Joyce B said, great product, 5 stars. I had half my thyroid removed years ago. I never took anything for it. I had been struggling with energy, hair thinning, cold extremities, not being able to lose weight. I am very happy with this product. Everything has returned. Okay, I'm so happy, Joyce. 5 stars, Susie B. Thyroid support. So far, so great. Not waking up in the middle of the night hot and not feeling tired when I wake up. That is a big one. So the night sweats often is related to your low thyroid function. It's not always like the other hormones, the estrogen, progesterone, perimenopause. Victoria said, love all the ingredients, 5 stars. Well, thank you so much to everybody who shared. You know, I've personally had the best results with the thyroid support. It's really helped my thyroid, so hopefully it'll work for you as well. You can learn more about it on Vitatree and, of course, purchase on Vitatree.com. So please check it out if you're hearing about it for the first time. And make sure that you share with somebody who wants to maybe learn more about it as well. All right, if you're just tuning in, today is deal day. I'm so excited to be doing live shopping here online. And it's something that's fairly new for Vitatree here to be able to do this. If you've seen me in Canada, anyways, if you're Canadian, you've seen me on television. And it's something that I've done for a very long time on television. But now to be able to go worldwide with our live shopping events, with our deal days, it's so exciting for me to be able to do this. So if you're just tuning in, we are going to talk about the iron complex. It is a 2-bottle offer, but our deal day item is our B12. So I know that that's moving very quickly. So please check it out on Vitatree.com. Our price as low as $44.26. Okay. This is crazy town pricing. Regular $65.58 in US pricing. Of course, whatever website you are, tracked over to, you'll see your pricing there, but significant savings. So 35% off on subscription. If you don't want to do that, you just want to try it one time, but you can split up your payments and make it more affordable as time goes on. It's as low as $49.18 in our US pricing. All right. So please take advantage of that B12, that 2-bottle offer. It is incredible as our deal day item. And guess what? Deal day items, they only are for 1 day. So this time tomorrow is gone. You won't be able to purchase it anymore at that price. It's going to go back up to our regular pricing tomorrow. Okay. With our iron, this is our super sale item. So a little bit different. As long as we've got some stock on this, this will last in our pricing as long up to a week. So 7 days for our iron complex, which is something that is remarkable. It's a whole food iron complex, natural ingredients that is whole food based and has rapid absorption. It's not going to upset your stomach. It is not going to cause constipation, and it's rapidly absorbed. And that's because of the formulation. I spent a long time to get the right formulation for the whole food iron complex, because a lot of women, even one of the hosts at the shopping network where I work on television, she's like, Dr. Janine, when are you going to have an iron supplement? And we didn't yet have it in the line. And it was something that, one of our customers actually sent me an email and said, okay, Dr. Janine, I think you should take a look at iron bisglycinate. It's a great absorbed form of iron. So that's exactly what I did. And then of course, put it into the complex with the Hawaiian spirulina. And that's why you can see the capsules are that dark green color. Amazing in terms of that proper absorption, but giving you the cofactors for that iron absorption, which are naturally occurring in the Hawaiian spirulina. And that's why it's the dark green color. So things like vitamin A, B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, folate, B12, manganese, chromium. These are all naturally occurring in that Hawaiian spirulina, which help with that proper absorption of the iron and in that whole food iron complex. And a fantastic deal today as well. So just want to show you, just for pricing, just for a second, is regular price $74.38. Now today, and for the next week or so, as long as we have some bottles available, if they sell out, then they sell out and then the deal is done. So just be aware of that. As low as $53.55. And of course, you can definitely, and that's on subscription, but you can definitely do the one time, and you can split up your payments if you wanted to do that interest free. So just to make it, a little bit easier over the next couple months. But please go to Vitatree.com and check it out. Put it in your cart, as we do have some quantities remaining. But this is all about giving your body the iron that it needs. A lot of people have an iron deficiency. You don't necessarily know it if maybe you've not had your blood work done recently. And maybe, in terms of iron deficiency, your body's telling you in terms of your symptoms. So it could be that your hair is breaking easily. It's falling out. Fatigue, lack of energy. If you get chronic headaches and migraines, often that's related to your mineral status. So the first thing I think of is magnesium. The next one I think of is always iron. And a lot of people, especially women, I find, are deficient in both iron and magnesium. So taking your 2 capsules of magnesium, your 2 capsules of your iron every day can get rid of those headaches. All right. Really important. Anemia, immunodeficiency, arched, and brittle fingernails. Heartburn issues can be related to low iron. cracked lips, if you get little sores at the corners of your mouth, this can be related to iron and B12 deficiency. So a lot of people get that. So just be aware of that. Burning tongue can be related to low iron. The biggest one I'm going to say though is, looking and feeling pale and just drained in energy. Of course, your oxygenation through, your blood system and circulation are not going to be optimized when you have an iron deficiency. So that becomes important, but it's the fatigue. It's just, you don't have the energy. And one little test that you can do if you've got a mirror at home is just pull down your lower eyelid, and that tissue should be a nice dark red, pink, blood injected area. If it's not, if it's looking very pale, then that can be an indication that your iron is low and you need to make sure that you're optimizing your levels. A lot of people don't eat a lot of iron containing foods. A lot of people don't absorb iron in their diet. If you're taking acid reflux medication, if you take any type of medication, that can often change the pH in your stomach and you're not necessarily properly absorbing your iron from your diet. But this is why, with an iron bisglycinate, again, the formulation is very different without the fillers, without the flow agents. You'll notice that it's very different because we don't use any of the things that we shouldn't be using in any of the Vitatree products. So I want you to learn more about them. Go to Vitatree.com. Definitely put the iron in your cart. That's important. We'll take a look at a few testimonials really quickly, how this is working for people. Chris V, 5 stars. My doctor indicated I had low iron after conducting my blood work. I tried so many other iron supplements, but time and time again, it was still low. So yeah, you weren't absorbing, Chris. I switched to Vitatree Iron Complex and have not had an issue, and my levels are normal. I have more energy and feel so much better. Thank you. That's because it's so well absorbed and because of the formulation. Ruth B said 5 stars. Great find. We are 3 generations of iron deficient women, and it's been a great discovery to find an iron pill that doesn't give us stomach aches. Also, they work. Well, thank you for sharing that. And Shavita said 5 stars. Best iron supplement I have used. I've been using it for years. My hair and energy has improved so much. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of your great news. Please, everybody, go to Vitatree.com. Check out all of the Vitatree items, especially our Deal Day item on our B12. That is, getting limited in quantity, as well as our iron supplement is our super sale item for today. That'll be available for the next 7 days or while we have quantity. The Deal Day item is just for today. So just make sure you're putting in your cart, checking out today, especially on the B12. And check out all the items that we shared in today's show. It was great seeing you. I'll be back next month, and that will be another great day of shopping. But always check out the Vitatree.com website. Make sure you're following me on social media as well so you get the little notifications. And I will see you there. Okay, have a great day, everyone.